So, welcome to this Builder Talk. This time, we're going to talk about the story behind the Lady Gaga digital experience. And with me today is Michael Klim, CTO and partner at Commerce UI, and Melody Young, creative lead and co founder of Young Studio. Thank you for being here today.
Hello. Thanks for
Thank you.
inviting us.
This is amazing. So,
Hello,
actually,
everyone.
Michael, this is not, oh, these are some lag. Okay. I'll try to make some pauses. So, Michael, this is not our first time meeting. I remember you came some years ago with a brand called Ether.
Yes, it was quite some time ago. Yes, it was about Ether Apparel, actually. So one of our favorite project till today. So yeah, it was great talk back then. Hopefully today will be the same.
Yeah, because this
Surely.
is actually a site I still refer to. It's very visual, very pleasing, still very utilitarian. Like it's easy to understand the apparel and the brand, but also very visual storytelling, which I think is relevant because I think all of your projects are like that. But you, Melody, you were not involved in that project. Are you? Is this your first time working with Mikael, or is this like are you usual?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, Michael and I met the first time when we were working on this project since last year. So it's really cool. And yeah, it's such a different process and experience compared to a lot of developers and different projects. So this is a very cool opportunity altogether.
Right. So we will go into your kind of roles in this project in a moment, but let's start with talking about the ambition because this is Lady Gaga's digital kind of presence on the internet. And no spoilers, but it's very beautiful, very inspired. We'll look at it in a moment. But why does it exist? Like most artist sites are not this ambitious.
Yeah, it's interesting how entertainment and music industry is quite behind in terms of digital experience. So just leveraging this platform to able to do a lot more things. And I think nowadays a lot of artists, I call them artists that they really hone in on social media platforms, but you can
Mm.
kind of see the limits if we really want to engage our fans deeper and much more customization, much more engagement. I think this website as a platform can do a lot more than what social can do.
Mm.
And I think, knowing her with a big followers, like 57 million people watching her, daily. And, I think now this is I think we're kind of leading up, the industry to kind of break through and kind of think outside the box of what we can do with the site.
Mm.
And it's interesting because we see great engagement, and I mean, I don't want to give away too much as I know you're asking more questions, but it's such a different type of thinking when we are working on a site like this versus like another tech companies or different type of industry,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel being a CTO and co-founder of a tech company, very much like we are very much like a concept like Lady Gaga. Like we have super fans, and we have no, I'm just kidding. It's different. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
In
But
our
so,
Yeah,
but is
small,
this
small
it's it.
bubble. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry. Go, Michael.
go?
No worries. That was it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say how Stephanie, we call her Stephanie, Lady Gaga,
Oh,
was always highly involved from the start of the project. And surprisingly, for someone with deep experience and being in the industry for over 10 years and not have a site that represent the fidelity and quality of her work, or even have a one place to really see the body of work. And so this is kind of it's a very meaningful project even before we start. And she was super excited that the potentials of what we can do on here. Yeah.
so this
It is.
initiative is coming from Stephanie, our common good friend Stephanie. Like this is not coming from the record label or from a marketing agency. This is like you and Lady Gaga, aka Stephanie, together.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So her fiance Michael, another Michael,
Ah,
he was in, he's a main investor on a lot of the tech startups, and he's very, on the trends of all tech and possibility of what we can do on the website front, even in the front end and back end. So he had great influence on the full project as well, and I think that also both of them, Michael and Stephanie, both drive the project.
oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
so we work with them day to day, directly. We see her on Zoom every week, and so it's
What?
it's, it's very, very hands on. And I would say, yeah, it's unreal.
You're
It's
blowing
been
my
really,
mind
really
here.
fun.
Like, so
Yeah.
you are like talking to. So I know her secret. Like I know her Bruce Wayne. She's Stephanie.
Yes,
Her real street identity. Amazing,
yes.
amazing. So so Michael, you also talk to Stephanie on a daily basis on Zoom?
Not on a daily basis. We've met a couple of times, definitely, but we mainly worked with Michael. And to the previous point, because I guess it's very much interesting because like the music industry is like one of the I would say one of the most creative ones in terms of visually and like pushing the boundaries, but at the same time in a digital world like if you see like the sites of many top level artists, they are not that great to be honest. So uh, and this is like a status quo. So it takes, I would say, a lot of maybe courage or vision. That yeah, vision would be a better word to actually pull this off. And I guess Michael here came to us with a strong vision of what they want to achieve, what they want
Hmm.
to have, and what kind of a capabilities they need in terms of technology. So yeah, I guess that was the beginning of it.
So is this in a sense kind of Lady Gaga taking control of her own kind of presence? Like most, like you said, most artists this day are kind of beholden to Spotify and some social platforms, and everyone else are making all the calls. And this is like she's famous for being in control of her career, right? So this is kind of a similar thing, taking control of her media presence. Is that fair to say?
I guess that's spot
I would,
on.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's true. And I think, like, most artists don't even know the possibility. I think
Mm,
that's like, it's not like they don't want a quality site, or to be highly customizable site and content rich. It's just that they didn't know it's possible before.
mm.
So now, like, having Michael as a bridge, that we're basically telling them, like, here's the opportunity, here's the potentials, what you can do. I think she got really excited with the idea, and so yeah, so that's kind of like enabling us to, like, hey, presenting all these ideas to her. Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I guess if one thing I would add here, I guess it's also, acknowledging this like a digital channel as one of, most important ones. I loved our discussion the other day with Melody we had about this site being like this kind of a digital home for Stephanie, like she's seeing her work in full for the first time. So yeah, I guess this is very much acknowledging this channel as a very important one and making it in putting it in spotlight.
yeah, in a place where she can own it. Like, of course, she could do this on Instagram or on Apple Music or something like that, but she would always be beholden to these platforms. Now she's creating her own platform in a sense that with links to every other platform that's relevant.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think before we talk too much about because we're going to talk about how you built this thing, how you made the technology choices, of course, why you chose Sanity and why you're so happy about that choice and all of those things. But let's first make sure everyone has seen it, because I think that's important to me. It is a very special site. It is very ambitious.
Yeah. All right. So let me share a screen here. So yeah, let's go. Yeah. So can you see it?
Yes. Can you full
Mhm.
screen it?
All right. Sure thing. So let's
Or remove the sidebar. It's like maybe the
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So essentially, that's that's the site, that's the homepage, and I guess this is like one of the most important pages on the site. I guess it's true for many different projects, but in terms of this project, I guess it's taken to a whole different level. So this was one of the first challenges we've got into this project. So what we knew at the right from the beginning is that Lady Gaga team would like to have this ability to show whatever type of content they want. Like usually that means, you know, images, videos, but in this case, it may be an interactive graphic or a game or anything like that. And we knew that we'll have to be able to integrate those into the existing content. And yeah, that's what we've done. This is a custom coded piece by
It's
Melody
so
team.
funny because like this is our fourth landing since the launch of the site on the 27th last month, and so it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and yeah, this is like the one that we dropped yesterday, and so it's or the day before Monday. Is every time I think we've been working on multiple landing in the same time. One is like we know that we're gonna keep engaging the fans with the latest drop, which is Mayhem. It's launching in March 7th. And so we want to kind of build the momentum, not only showing the album artwork, the music video of the single, but we really want to like have these immersive experiences. So this is a good example because we're starting to work with like these interactive elements directly on the homepage, and there's more to come. So it's such a it's just so fun that we're able to kind of like work on multiple landing at the same time and just kind of timing, like we can always decide like when we want to launch certain things, and sometimes Michael and I will like partner up and like and make edits and come up with new ideas, and then so the whole experience is like it's not like thinking about the sites like one and done. It's just like we know that the landing page is somewhat we want to kind of train the fans and the media to know what's the latest. This is where they should go to see like what she is releasing. And interestingly, because of Lady Gaga, Stephanie, her way of engaging her fans is always dropping Easter eggs throughout listening platforms and etc. or even social. We want to create that, but like amplify that like 100% on
Yeah.
what we can do for the site. So this is a really good example of like something you simply can't do on a social platform, that we can fully engage, on a site like this. Yeah.
Right. So here there are like Easter eggs, and I can kind of do some kind of archaeology, reading out these lines from this upcoming record. Is that what's
Yes.
going on here right now?
Yeah.
And this
So
was not
it
like
was.
I said, like last time I was on the site, this wasn't out.
It
Like
was.
I
Yeah.
had never seen
Exactly.
this.
It's
This is
always
my first time
different.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
that basically these like cryptic lines are meant to be certain lyrics of in the album, in the tracks. So the also the another fun thing is like we I think her fans are really smart. And so like sometimes we don't really prompt too much of like what they are, what it is. They just know. They will be all over Reddit and IG and TikToks like literally a second after we launched the site, like uploading new content on the site. So it's
wow.
just really fun. It's not like, traditionally on the website, you're always trying to optimize like, accessibility and make sure people understand what's happening. Like, no, like I think what we're putting out there, it's like they get it right away.
Right. So
And
you're
so it's
optimizing for
really
an
cool.
interesting kind of instability in a sense. You're trying to subvert and make interesting kind of stuff going on here,
Yeah, and I
and make it
love it
fun
how
to be
y-
exploring her kind of output.
yes, I love
Yeah.
that. So Billboard, the press always write about. I know recently been just like blasting all the updates on her site, and they always use
Mm.
the word mystery. like there's like there's some mysterious thing happening on the landing. Like that's like the word they use all the time. I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, and then do you feel like these puppeteers who are making these mysterious things going on the website along with Stephanie and Michael?
They loved it. They
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like they know what the fans want. And so that's like this is why it's always great that Stephanie and Michael both like on, basically talking to us every week and just like checking no checking on the temperature of like what is a good
Yeah.
good Easter eggs, like what is like,
Uh-huh.
what is a good prompt. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. So you can kind of see like Commerce UI has been like working really closely with us since we've been making
Yeah.
updates like all the time.
And the
So
funny
cool.
thing
So
is that you can see it like real time. Like the moment we put out different version of a homepage, like the social media are exploding. Like you can see people talking about it, trying to see all of the permutations and so on. Like
cool.
we got this like almost real time feedback about everything.
So the ROI on this investment is very clear. That is not the problem, right? This is paying off immediately.
Yes,
Yes.
I guess yes, but it's totally based on this hunch and this kind of good understanding of the fan base. It's not in the numbers.
No, that's what I mean. This sounds exploitative, of course, but like sometimes it's just this is a piece of art and it's inspiring to the fan base, but it's also clearly worth it, right? Because this is probably not super cheap, so it also needs to work for Stephanie and her business as an artist. But it sounds like it's doing both of these things excellently.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I can jump further
yeah. Let's
to a
So
music
so
section.
one question here before oh yeah, okay, keep going. Like I was just like maybe off, or can you let us in on an Easter egg here that like we as kind of outsiders can understand, like what is an example of an Easter egg that has made the fan base go wild?
Just
Mm,
throughout the site or just the landing?
No, wherever, like just show us like an example, like that is already out there that everyone knows about, but like except me.
I guess like maybe the load more. I was trying to think. There's like a couple different ones.
yeah. I guess this section is to some extent Easter egg on itself with
Mm.
those texts in here. But if we go further to the music, for example,
Mm.
so when it comes to Easter eggs, like for example, if we go further down and we have this kind of a load more button, this is where we see those randomized lyrics from the songs,
Ah.
and yeah, every time a different one. So. Uh, like this is uh those are
Small kind
the
of
small
tips of the
numbers
hat
here.
to super fans.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like
exactly.
small Easter eggs, and then there's also like just in terms of how music is, like how we presenting her portfolio of work.
Mm.
Like for example, this experience with the sound clips throughout these studio albums can be
Mm.
enhanced. Um, they were super excited with this,
Yeah.
I think.
And this is beautiful. And this is like you said, this is the first time anyone has brought all of these works together in one kind of experience together, like at the same place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when we're working on the content side with Michael and Stephanie. Literally, I told them, "Oh, we need all these assets for this site because we built a design, and like now we have to put all these things together." And they're like, "Oh, wait, like just give us a minute because we don't have even internally they don't have
Oh, really?
one place that they will store all the library of all the studio album, like the links to all these listening platforms. Because traditionally they never think of it like archiving these things neatly
No.
because it was never they were never made a site like this before, or anywhere. So then she's been an artist over 10 years, so there's a lot of music and images and videos that are like it's they don't they need time to actually look for them. So this is the first time even for the artist herself to see her work all in one place. So
Wow.
I
So
know.
this is kind of the Royal Lady Gaga archive for the first time. There's like a
Yes,
proper archive for all of
exactly.
this.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That-
Um,
That's amazing.
so yeah,
But here this is just linking out. Like I can't listen to the records here, but I'll find the Spotify or Apple Music kind of
You
places to.
can,
you
yeah.
can listen. You can
Oh, really?
listen a bit of a record here. We have a music player here
Hmm.
on the bottom, and then if you go further down to the music, you can
Oh,
see some videos
Oh, this
around
one is
the.
unreleased yet, so maybe go to the one that it's Chromatica
All
or
right.
something.
oh, are we not
So
on the public site right now? It is. This is going to be released by the time we go
Yeah, March
live, though.
7th.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
All right. So, but yeah, let's go. Let's go here then. So. Yeah, if you go further down, you can of course see all the links towards
Hmm.
the streaming, but you can see the videos here, maybe some overviews, some personal notes about those albums. So and yeah, in the future, most likely more editorial stuff around this release. So yeah, and there's like I was even surprised how many releases there are. Like
Hmm.
there are tons of them. So yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
since
what's
he's been
really
an
cool
artist for
is
over
that
10 years, but this looks like 20 years for a normal artist.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
interesting. When we build a site, we obviously looking at Spotify, all the other platform, and know how many albums or singles that she had. But then after we start building the content into it, and they're like, oh, actually, like she has a lot of these extra things that she wants to
Mm.
add in. So now we have an extra um like a category which like featuring some of her like video and different type of art stuff that she makes. And I think that's also surprised her fans that all of them now you can see in one place, beyond music, basically. So it's really, really cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
incredible. So, but there's also,
So
of course, an e-commerce aspect to this. Oh, sorry, Michael.
yes, exactly. You're right. So there is an e-commerce aspect to it. So yeah, we can jump to the shop right now. So currently it's only for the US store, but in the future the site will have also a different market. But I guess we can see interesting thing here. Like I guess the homepage, the music part uh, play a crucial role. So I'm not saying shop or store is not important, but it's not in the center of the whole site. It's there, but I guess it's talking a lot about the site and itself. Like the storytelling aspect here is put definitely in the spotlight. But yeah, we have a store here, and we have more I guess some Easter eggs in here also. So one thing I personally I love those promo cards that are put in the middle of this product list in here. They're very cool visually. They add more depth to the whole collection. But
Because those
also,
cards are not actually like purchasable products, or are more decorative elements that are just showing like contextualizing the products.
Yeah, so
yes, exactly.
Chromatica was an interesting one because they made a lot of poster and printed goods for the album of the era. And I think what's really cool is that the content team on Stephanie's side was even pulling things that maybe was unreleased, like artwork that was unreleased that was also
Ah,
put in these collections. So like fans will go in there like, oh my god, like we haven't seen this before. There's an unreleased photography of her. Like, so it's like, we made the system quite simple so they can just kind of drag and drop into, creating these content cards, like we call it. And but for the fans, it's like, oh yeah, like they have these like one-off artwork that they haven't seen before. So it's and Chromatica released in, I don't know, like a few years ago. And so now it's like a refresher for their fans, to see like, oh yeah, there's things that they are discovering, even seeing some of the older collections. So that was like really fun. And I think in terms of experience, like, we're continuing. This is just V1 of our site, and we're working on the V2 now, and just like,
Mm.
in terms of like the vibe of the collection, we really want to enhance it. So we actually, I mean, like Michael, you can like click through the gradient feature, which is like
Yeah.
setting up the mood of the
Oh,
collection.
nice.
So each collection has kind of like this like different color palette that we really enhance, but not only on the background, but all the rendering of the products, the 3D renderings, also render as like in the lighting of the mood. So it's again, it's like something that was never done before. So it was
Oh,
kind of
can you turn
it's
it back
really, really
up? Just like
cool.
let's appreciate this fact. Like look at the
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was just the background, but actually the lighting of each product changes. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I
That
mean,
is
Michael,
unreasonable.
you can show different collections has a different lighting. So it's again, it's kind of cool way to shop products. Um, think about, I think that also inspired by like some of the experimental things that people do in retail, have different lighting set up in a changing room. So that's how we're like, oh, what if we do that on a digital space,
Yeah.
Everyone just take notes in the audience today in this webinar, because I feel like this is kind of what sometimes just freaks me completely out. Like retail in like high street is dying, but people are not moving all the art of merchandising and creating beautiful kind of e-commerce experiences to the online experience. But this is that.
Yeah.
This is what that feels like when you care like that and making a, let's say, a flagship store for Stephanie on the web.
Yeah, and not only just like the lighting mood, but like all the product is completely new rendered to be consistent and scalable for for future shop launch. So I think before they had a very manual, everything is like photography, and it's time consuming. So now we're really creating these like 3D templates, I would say, like
Mm.
to like every time you drop a vinyl, every time you drop t-shirts, like it can be quickly, released without a lot of load time. Process. So it's I think it's like one is it's a design enhancement, but also in the same time like it's solving operation problems. Yeah.
Exactly. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment, because I feel like this is now what a lot of people would expect when they say this is like this is cool, but it will not be maintainable, right? This will die. Like you launch this and then it will die over a couple of weeks because no one can maintain this over time. But I think that's kind of where you have gone beyond that and solved that problem. It sounds like, to make it sustainable, easy to operate, but also incredibly beautiful. Let's anything specific that you wanted to show here now, or should we talk a little bit about the process? How do you feel? Anything we missed?
I guess we went through like the most important part of the site. Of course, there's more. Like there's this kind of a cool search here. There is the whole account part of it.
Wow.
There's like a lot to decide, and we are constantly working on. Like Melody mentioned that this is only phase one. I guess now that we have just like a solid backbone and there's no boundaries there. Now the whole Lady Gaga team starts to thinking like, okay, what's next? What we can achieve, and what are the
There's a long
possibilities
list.
also?
There's a long list of things that we're like want
Yeah.
to add. Like we're already working on like the music pages. Like, I think the intent of the design also is kind of built as a modular system that even on the music detail page, as you see, there is like listening platform, there is music videos, but then we want to add more modules like, the inspiration, the awards that for each album, and maybe fan arts. There's like a lot of things that we want to keep adding. So that's what's great about this is like now the design it's a foundation for V1, then now we can build more customization, build more content, on top of it.
And I guess
Yeah.
like there is one thing there, because I guess they were like the whole Lady Gaga team were quite surprised of what's possible in digital world, and also what's possible in like short span of time. Because
Okay.
one thing about the
This
music, yeah.
This was fast. This looks like a very long project.
So the whole project took a couple of months, definitely. But as Melody mentioned, we changed the homepage like completely 4 different times in a month, and we already working on redefining some of the sites here, like collection pages and so on. So, and that's the thing about the music industry, like it's insanely fast, like, and it needs insane speed of changes, like, you know, and at the same time this you know, freedom of creation, to be honest. So things changing like from day to day. So you have to have a system for that, but at the same time a system that allows to go outside of those boundaries, but at the same time you need those low level building blocks to be able to deliver these things really fast, because that's the velocity this industry needs, basically.
Yeah, no, I think that's what that is the holy grail. Like you work fast, make it beautiful, but also sustainable and kind of delightful, but still you're not overloading the team with like, I don't know, preparing 700 different assets or like things that are not sustainable, which is the typical thing for like that's what people think we are doing a trade-off when, like, are we going to do something amazing? Then we do a one-off. We will never maintain this. We'll let it die on the route until we recreate it again. And I think that's the typical cool artist site is done like that. It's hard coded once, and then next time there is an album release, we just do it again, and we throw it out. This is something beyond that. So let's talk about your process. Like how did you? I guess you were typically a hydrogen shop, Michael. So like that was probably a given, or what? How did you choose your tools here?
Yeah, so I would say we are typically headless. We are working with headless commerce for a long time right now, and it's either, you know, Next.js or Hydrogen nowadays. So like different framings depends on a case, but we do a lot of, you know, headless. Not exclusively, but it's we sort of, you know, made our name for ourselves doing a lot of headless sites and a lot of headless commerce. So the Hydrogen, we are very fond of Hydrogen, this native headless framework, commerce framework from Shopify. And funny enough, Michael came up to us and found us due to the Hydrogen, because he was looking for an agencies. He already had this kind of an idea that this site should be headless, and came to us with this idea of using Hydrogen. He found us due to the fact that we won the award for like best Hydrogen build. So, and yeah, so I guess Hydrogen was there right from the beginning, and that's the first core technology. The second one would be Sanity. So we work a lot with Sanity, and we used Sanity across various different projects, honestly. So what we knew right from the beginning is that this site will change, and we have to be ready for, you know, everything that will be thrown at us. We have to, like, I guess this is a pretty much worn-out term, like, you know, being flexible, but in the music industry, you have to be flexible to achieve this. So, and that's where the Sanity, Sanity shines, I guess. So, we weren't thinking twice of choosing the Sanity one. One thing is that we know it very well. Another one is that allows us to build more than, you know, just a custom structure for the data. It also allows us to build small custom workflows or adjust those flows to the clients, which is basically needed here, because once again, speed, and you have to have this kind of a tailored editorial experience in order to pull this off.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
Melody, did you know Sanity from before, or was this?
we use Sanity for our own website, for a
Oh.
studio website. But this is the first time that we use it on the client work. It's quite delightful because, as you see, Stephanie and Michael both on the client side, they had never used Sanity or any CMS before. So it's
Mm.
to kind of using this platform and knowing that like they were ensured that it was easy to use, and they were empowered to make edits and changes and write their own copy on there, and
Is
it feels really
Stephanie
nice.
using Sanity herself with her own hands ever?
They do have like they do these like content sessions,
Wow.
with the brand manager, and like three of them will have like meetings in the weekend and just like start writing copy for the music page like right before the launch. So it's like, yeah, like it's just funny how like people who are not in tech or design and they're empowered to just like be the one who making the edits, like adding
Cool,
the
cool.
content directly to her
Wow.
site. So it's yeah, so it's really cool. And I think nothing feel good. We here, if they need us, but I think what's nice is they're empowered to make their own, edits and change and and without us. So it's really really cool.
Yeah, that is cool, and it's especially cool now that we know how beautiful and like special the site is. So it's not like a general template. It doesn't feel, of course, it is. It's modules and page builders and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels almost handcrafted. Everything feels like really tailored and like created with lots of care. And still, like you said, still you go into the CMS, you put in the things, and then it works. It looks
Mhm.
like this.
Yeah, and I think beyond just like inputting content, I think timing is like so important. It's so funny. Like obviously we schedule things ahead of time. That's like given on
Mm.
certain launches, but there are certain things, certain times that we were like, oh my God, we don't know exactly what date, what time, exactly which second to launch certain things. Like clients or even us, like as a vendor, we are empowered
That
to.
sounds like a story. Like, did that actually happen one time?
Yes, yeah. Like I mean, last week,
Be
was
specific.
Grammys, and
Oh,
and
wow.
she has a music video that on the TV broadcast dealing the Grammys like between the breaks. So
Ah,
we know the period that when the ads will drop, but we don't know exactly what time. Like TV, TV industry is also like it's not like it's not a technology product. It's not like everything it's gonna be
it's
like exact
humans
time.
doing
So
things. Yeah,
literally me and our client Michael and Stephanie were just like, not Stephanie, but like me, I was there because Michael and Stephanie are actually at the Grammys.
exactly. And you're
So
there with the
so yeah,
button,
so
finger on the
Michael,
button.
exactly. That's exactly what happened. I was like eating my dinner. I was like, okay, wait till I'm literally in front of the TV. Wait till the ad drops. I have the brand published. It was the most crazy like experience for me. I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't mess up. But yeah, so Michael is like on the line and just like, is everything okay? Like, it looks like everything working great. And so it's funny. We're all working in different time zones, and sometimes the clients are on site doing, live, in an
Yeah.
event, and we're
Wow.
just all like, ready to go. And so we're, as a designer, like being, empowered to press the push button is as
Exactly.
important.
Not only
Yeah.
empowered, also required to. Like, it's your,
Required
yeah.
too, yes, and not messed up. Yeah. So that was cool.
Wow. So how many people are working on the so how like, first, how big is the team kind of building this out in 2 months? Like the first kind of iteration?
On the tech side, on the design side.
Yeah, yeah, on that, or yeah, on like I don't, in my mind that's the same thing. Like building things and designing things, those are two sides of
Oh,
the
I
same
see. Yeah,
coin. Like
sure.
building
Yeah,
the
like
first kind of version of this site. Like how,
the
yeah.
creative team is there's only like 5 to 6 of us.
Mm.
It's like all designers, 3D artists, and then also art director and people who can do motion as well. And we only was given like actually when in the start we only have less than 2 months to like finalize design handoff to commercial UI. But even before we hand off everything, we already start talking to them from day one to just like know the tech stack and also just like concern. I think one thing is like this is a different type of Spotify site, as than anything else we ever designed for other clients. So it's we work really closely with commercial UI, not only just on like the tech advice, but just like user experience. I know some of the design feature. We want to make sure that it's like it's not just like, oh, designer is saying we should do this. It's more like, oh no, like Michael, what do you think? Like I think it's a very collaborative process from the beginning.
I don't think you can get design like this without a close collaboration. It is a kind of negotiation between technology and intention, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also like not only that, but also we don't actually know exactly when we're gonna launch the site. Like this is funny. It's so we were trying to time it with something that she's launching, and what she's launching also didn't have a date. So we've been just like working as quickly as possible, and we're always looking at like the plan A, plan B, plan C
Oh
of what's
wow! Is
possible.
that like
We
what
launch it in
we used to
October.
call agile, but now it's just like Lady Gaga? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like so like every month we're like, okay, I said we're gonna launch next week. What's gonna happen? So we just like always have different plans,
Wow.
and just make sure that like we are ready, for them. So that's like it's kind of fascinating. It's not like, oh, we have a deadline date. No, the deadline dates it's unknown. We need to like
Unknown.
so
So
every month we make plans.
So 5 people on your side, Melody, and how many on your side, Michael?
We work in a team of 3 basically.
Three.
So yes, so three developers, also a project manager. But so yeah, that's a very small team there.
Very small, effective team.
Very small, effective senior team. And I guess together with Melody, like this worked for us because basically from day one it felt like we are all together one team, and actually being small made things easier, to be honest, because we work under this constant pressure of time, like not knowing where we'll be releasing something and pivoting a lot. So being small, very focused team helps in that case.
Incredible. Yeah, that's so inspiring. So super small teams that are smart, of course, just works faster and better. That's always the best. With the right tools, of course, I have to add. So to that, like, so how many people are working on driving the site day to day without like outside of creating new capabilities, like just kind of maintaining the content, putting out new content?
It's just like the client and us,
Yeah,
basically.
it's Michael and Stephanie.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and yeah, but, I mean, yeah, it's so funny. Like you're saying, Amiga Star, a full team with 100 people behind the scene. That's not really the case. It's yeah, it's actually quite a small team on the client side as well. So it's I don't know, Michael, you can speak to more. It's just funny how like
It is
how hands-on they are.
Yeah, and like there's funny thing, like because this is like one very high profile client, but at the same time the team is very small, and it's sort of unstructured, to be honest. Like of course we have like those kind of a clear responsibilities, like Melody doing mostly design, we doing development, there is editorial team, but at the same time we there is moments where we are publishing the content, or Melody is publishing the content, or we're talking about design and Melody trying to find some cool technological solutions. So we are actually, there's no rigid structure to it all.
No, amazing.
And that's why it's working, I believe.
So let's have a look at the studio, and now everyone remembers the site. So let's look at how you solve this. How Stephanie is running her website day to day.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. So I have the studio here. Can you see
able
it?
to make it bigger?
Yes.
Streams better. Yeah, perfect.
Is it fine?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Yeah, so that's the studio, and I guess we can start the same way we started the demo of the site. So here we have a homepage, and if we go to the homepage, we have this current homepage tab, and essentially what it's doing, it's just holding the current version of the site that is published. So, and that is like a very tailored requirement for this project, because essentially we have different versions of the homepage, and the whole team is working on a different version of homepage simultaneously. So, and there is this need to, on one hand, experiment on a different possibilities, but also share them with different stakeholders at the same time. And there are different types of homepages. So I've mentioned it before, but we doing this kind of a mix of traditional page builder stuff that everyone's used to, but also very targeted sites with integrated custom pieces or custom code pieces. So or this one time of campaigns. So we do have, like, for example, flexible homepage, which is essentially just a page builder, but we have this interactive lyrics side that you did so on the site currently. So we are able to mix those two approaches, like a very custom coded with flexible one, and just reuse small pieces of structures or blocks, to be honest, to fulfill it. So, and yeah, you can add more of them. Every of this page could be live previewed without, they don't have yet the URLs there, but you can still live preview them and see them live very easily, share them, and yeah, just play with them. So yeah, that's what's basically driving the whole homepage there.
So you can have several different complete homepage builds at any given time. You can approve them, you can preview them, and then you can just kind of slot them into the actual front page whenever you want to go live. That's what you're doing during the Grammys, Melody. You're
waiting. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that clear publish button.
That's trust. Like that makes me proud.
Yeah.
That's the button here. Exactly. So
exactly. Amazing. So and then what else? Like what else is interesting here? Like, you showed me the gradients, of course. We want to see that, but let's not go there immediately.
Gradients.
Yeah. So I guess before we go that, we can go to music. That's the core of it. So essentially we have this concept of releases, and that's the whole library of releases we saw on the site, the whole Lady Gaga music here. And there's a lot of things you define here. There is a type of the release, there is a cover, primary color. You can add a sound clip here that you can play on the site, and of course you have a page builder here. So
so this is where you had the music videos and everything, like the kind of build under when you click into the actual release.
Exactly. Yes. So streams or music videos and etc. So of course there are sections like this section, music streams, that for the most of the time look very similar. So for example, we trying to make the lives of the editors easier and fulfill some of the fields beforehand, so they just need to add the link and not cross-reference every piece of content here. So these releases are powering a couple of different sections of the site. So for example, on music landing page in this 3D gallery, you can reference those that you want to highlight. So on
so these are the actual the big covers that you can flip through. This is that list. This is the curated Yeah.
This is exactly this list. So you just reference already created releases. The same goes for the homepage. There is this small bubble at the bottom, and that takes you to the actual music, and you can reference the music from here. So we are reusing this this piece of data across basically the whole site.
Structured content.
The structured content, exactly, exactly. So the same goes, for streaming platforms. Like there are things that will be the same across all of the pages, and we just create those streaming platforms. We can reuse them across various pieces of content. So yeah, that's music, and let's now go to collections. So collections are what is synced directly from the Shopify. It's automatically synced through Sanity Connect. So every collection you see in here are basically comes from Shopify.
Right.
And we have this basic data already, but we extending it with more of editorial data. For example, page builder or those moods in here. So you can see we just referencing the mood for Chromatica, and this mood, this gradient is also defined inside the Sanity.
I thought that was super easy to use because it basically matches how I see it on Figma when we build a design, and it just literally input all the numbers.
Right.
So even the percentage of the gradients is all different. Yeah, I don't know. This is my first time I'm even like to actually use the backend like this to be able to be changing the gradients on our own.
Yeah, that's so cool. And sometimes people tell me, "Oh, yeah," when people put like color changers and stuff in the content, then they are doing it wrong, but they are not. That's not always true. Sometimes the colors are that is the content. This is a great example of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So let me maybe choose a different collection here. So let's go with this one, because I also wanted to show you the collection media. So those are the posters that are
Those are kind of stuck
in
in between the different products. Yeah, the spice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they play? How do you
position.
place them? Are they random or no? It says position 10. I can't read. Sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's quite straightforward. You just define the index of the media, and you can put it there. Of course, there's some faces there, but essentially that's it. You can define the size of it, or and the placement. So that's that. But there is also this third-party products, and this is interesting one, I guess, because basically there are products on the site that don't come from the Shopify. So they are external products living on external sites, but the challenge here was to show them in a similar way or in the same way as the rest of the product. So
Yeah. So for example, like Target will have its own PDP on Target.com to sell Target exclusive Mayhem vinyl collection, and we will want to display that on our collection page as well. So, but on the front, on the collection pages, look like any other product, but it will link to the Target PDP.
And that's where they are defined next to the products from the Shopify. So once again, this is a list thing from the Shopify, but we can also define those third-party products in here.
Cool. So this is almost like a fan service. Like we are helping people find the products because they care about Lady Gaga, but it's not basically sold specifically by her. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So how is the so of course I mean she has an amazing fan base, and as you said, like people are clearly like reloading the page all the time, looking for new clues and new drops. How is the kind of traffic profile on this?
You mean what? How big the traffic is?
Or? I mean, like we like other celebrity sites that we have worked with have very spiky traffic. So like sometimes that's a challenge in itself. Like when a celebrity kind of posts something or does something, their sites will be completely blasted. Are you experiencing similar kind of spiky traffic?
Definitely during the initial launch, like there was almost hundreds of thousands of people there, and I guess it was due to the whole build up towards the release. Like the week before the release, we put out this countdown page, like, and it was really crazy because yeah, Melody, maybe you'll tell a bit about the countdown
But
itself.
I don't know if there's a lot of Lady Gaga fans on this webinar, but the latest album is called LG7. That's like the code name they put LG, which is Lady Gaga. 7 is the seventh studio album that's launching in March. So we shut down the site, the original site for 7 days. And each day we have artwork and also a countdown that's associated with LG1, which is studio album 1, and then LG2. So that's how we built the momentum to the 7th day of the drop. So
Right.
it's a bit crazy. Like I think I think like it's all over Reddit, it's all over IG and TikTok. Yeah, I think it's funny because you traditional site, everyone's trying to scratch their head and figure out how to drive traffic into the site, but that was not the case for
That was
Lady
not the
Gaga.
problem, not the challenge.
No, I mean she didn't even mention on social.
I mean, she
Well,
spent years cultivating that brand, though. So I guess it was a challenge,
yeah,
but she just already
that's true.
handled that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
that's
that was really
amazing.
intense. Yeah.
This is so inspiring to see. I feel like this is exactly, I mean, I don't know, I probably said it to you last time, Michael, but like in one sense, this is exactly why we created Sanity back in the day. We used to be an agency. We were frustrated by the challenge of creating these kinds of sites and driving them and giving them to not necessarily very technical people to then operate after the fact, but still being able to have that kind of vision that you pulled off here. I just love this. I feel like if we want to leave our audiences with something, what have you learned, or what did you bring into this project that you could kind of help someone else who wants to have a similar ambition bring into their project to deliver something similarly visionary and inspired, but still sustainable? Maybe Michael, you first.
Yeah, all right. So I guess there are a couple of things like we really appreciate in this project the fact that great things can come up from like unreasonable things. You used that word before, and I guess it's a really cool way of describing it. So it is unreasonable. That's why it's fun. That's why it's great, and that comes also from that gets me from technological point of view, because we always tend to seek a structure and like a rigid systems and so on, and that's also fine because they're just good, but at the same time we have to allow for unpredicted things, unstructured things, and this is very much needed, and that's where creativity basically is.
Be unreasonable in a sustainable way, and something like that. Melody, you go.
I was kind of saying it's interesting, this project, because it's like I said, like the design wasn't one and done, and I just love that like we push things to be live, and like a second later see fans are complaining about something or discovering something. It's the user feedback is instant. And like I just love that the platform now, it's just allowed us to make edits and make changes and like continue building and improving the site like in an instant. And so that's I like, and I think like even the client side like know that, oh, nothing is precious because we launch it, we can change it, we can always mold it. And so it's great that now like the content management is easy for us to make that type of updates and not bound by, oh, like this has to rely on someone else, or everyone is empowered to make the edits and make changes. So that's really cool. And I think we want to see more of that coming for the industry, and how we can make the fans engagement much more immersive, much more interactive,
And more direct
and
with the artist directly instead of through these platforms.
Yeah, maybe hopefully in the future. But yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what we want to influence, right? Like to kind of set the bar, what we
Mm.
can do. Yeah, so super excited.
Super exciting. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Melody, for making the time and for inspiring all of us. And until next time, I'm sure I'll meet you again in some new amazing project. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.